So I'm heading to Guatemala tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. flight, for a video shoot for 3 or 4 days in a couple different locations. And I thought I'd show you, I've done this before, kind of what I'm packing, what I'm bringing, partly just to show you what kind of gear I use, and also thinking about how to keep everything as small and compact as possible, because I don't want to check any luggage. I'm traveling by myself and I want to be as light as possible, but have as much flexibility as possible. And I am someone who tends to overpack, wants to plan for every possible contingency, especially when it relates to shooting video and what I might need. So I'm trying to get better at that. So I'm going to take you through everything I've got here and we'll chat about it. Okay, so let's start with the main camera. So I'm shooting with 4 cameras. I usually do a 5th, a drone, but you can't take a drone to Guatemala. So I'm focused on staying on the ground here. So starting off, we've got my Sony a7S III, which is sort of my go-to for shooting video because it's so portable, compact, and has great quality. I've got a Tamron on here. I love this lens. It's a 35 to 150, so it's a shockingly broad zoom. And what's amazing about it is that it's an f2 to 2.8. So that's a thing, even full 150 to f2.8. It's a tank. This thing is very heavy, but I like it better than the 24 to 70 that you'd usually see, because it gives you that extra, even though it only goes down to 35. I find it a great all-around lens for both photography and video, although I primarily use it for video. You might notice, you might wonder, where's my cage? So part of this is about what I'm not bringing and really trying to cut down. And I realized I usually have a tilted cage here. You'll see right here's my cage. Sorry, it's a small rig cage. It's a Tilta matte box, and then associated, a top rail for holding the monitor. And I've got an extra battery for charging and a little mount, because you can charge the camera directly with this. And you've got to have little adapters to fit the matte box on. I'm skipping all that. I would normally bring it for doing handheld work, but I'm really going to focus on shooting on a gimbal. I usually have an RS2, a DJI RS2. This is an RS4 Pro, and it's a long story. I usually wouldn't bring the whole case, but I have to bring the whole case, and that really is hurting me, because you can see I have these two, a backpack and my carry-on, and this takes about 60% or 70%. So we're going to see how we can make this all fit. Okay, so, but because I have that, I'm not really doing anything I'm just doing everything on the gimbal pretty much. There is somebody bringing a regular tripod in case I need a tripod. I'm bringing the iPad so that I can hook up the Raven's Eye on the gimbal, so I can have, a client look at what I'm shooting. So that's kind of the camera situation and why I'm not taking the cage and matte box for that. So I'm exclusively going to be on the gimbal. Or if I'm handheld, I'll just be handheld, because you know what? I can take my Ninja monitor here, and I've got a little attachment on it, so I can put the hood on here so you can see better in the dark. And I can attach that directly to the hot shoe on the camera, which brings up something else, which is, I think this is a Polar Pro. This is a great little, very strong device here. I'm not doing any audio. So that's another big thing, is audio is a whole nother world. And I am going to go ahead and bring my little Tascam mic. It's a little lav mic here, a little tape you can put inside your shirt or whatever for somebody if I have to do some kind of interview. But this really shouldn't be an audio shoot, so I'm not too worried about that. So, I've got the Ninja monitor. I've got it. I can shoot straight to ProRes on the Caddy. I'll shoot also directly just to H.264 in the camera, but I like to use this at least as a backup. This I can use to mount directly on the camera, and also this mounts onto the gimbal. I've got an arm to mount it onto the gimbal. So that's that. If you bring that, you've got an HDMI. You have to have an HDMI cable. I've got 2 because I'm nervous. I usually use this one, but it just seems so easy to get cut, and I always like to have 2. Sometimes HDMI cables are a little funky. And then if you're using this, gotta have batteries, unless you're gonna be plugged in, and I won't be. I'll be gunning it. So I got a little charger, the dual charger, fast charger for the batteries that go on the back of that. And then finally, this allows me to connect this drive to my Mac over USB-C. So that's kind of all one area there. Okay, so that's all related to monitoring, being able to see what I'm shooting. So back to the camera, I've got that lens. I bring two other lenses as well. I've got a Sony G Master 1.4 24 mil. Love, love, love this lens. And then I need to go a little wider. I shoot interiors. I'm going to be shooting a variety of interiors, exteriors, and some models as well on this one. This is a 16-35. It's not the fastest lens in the world. It's an f4, but that's okay. I don't need a super fast lens for this. This is great for interiors. I don't usually go full 16, but I might go 18-20. On the gimbal, great all-around lens, not as expensive as the G Master. It does a great job. So that's the lenses for that camera. Along with them, I've got a couple of filters, ND. You've got to have ND, especially if you want to have shallow depth of field. So I've got a, let's see, starting here at, I think this is a 2-5 Polar Pro. And then I have also a 2-5 ND for this lens here, different size. And then this guy is a 5-9. So when it's really bright, and often when I'm in Belize or Guatemala, if I'm on a beach or something, it's really bright, and I really need the 5-9. So both of these are, I need adapters for them because I want them to fit on both these lenses. So I've already got a little adapter on this one to 77, you can see right there. That'll fit onto, I forget, the 24 mil. And then I've got adapters to the other two. Something else really important are these guys. So sometimes, especially in the tropics, when you have adapters on these filters, there's an extra ring on here, they get stuck together and you can just be stuck if you can't get off. So these guys allow you to grip. You need two of them. You grip each side and it allows you to unstick these guys if they lock together. So I think these are a critical thing to bring. I'm bringing lens hoods as well because I'm not bringing my matte box. So if I'm in sun, I think this is going to help me with that. So that's kind of the camera aspect. Of course, you need batteries for the camera. I've got just one here and one in the camera. They work all day. They're great. I really think I'll be fine. Every day I'll be able to charge, so that should be okay. Second camera, GoPro. So GoPro, extra battery, a car mount. It might be useful. I've used that there before. Go in the water. Will likely be going in the water. A little grip here so I can mount it somewhere. And this is like an all-around grip. I can take this little guy. I love this thing. And just grip anything hard. Like this can't grip very hard. You can just grip to something kind of narrow, but this can grip to something much bigger. So I think it's worth bringing this even though it's kind of bulky and heavy. So that's the GoPro, second camera. Third camera is the Insta X4 360 camera, which I don't use in 360, but shooting 360, it's great. I've tested out here. I just got this one. I updated from the X3. I think the resolution's fantastic. So with that, selfie stick, tripod mount. This actually comes from my other RS4, just nice and sturdy so I can really mount with it. And then you've got to have this guy to be able to take that data off that little mini SD card and stick it in here so I can transfer the data, and a USB cable, USB-C cable. That's camera number 3. Camera 4 is the iPhone I'm shooting with right here. A couple of support things for this camera for the iPhone. I've done a video on this little guy, which is just a super cool little tripod magnetic mount that goes on the back of this camera and lets you prop it up anywhere you are. Love it, love it, love it. I just got this Edelkrone. In fact, the opening video I shot of myself on camera, this thing extends out much like a tripod, but I think it's a little heavier, but it's very compact and it lets you do things you can't do with a tripod. You pull it out and then you have to tighten it up. You do have to carry this guy around with it, but it lets you mount an iPhone or actually a heavier camera right to it to shoot any way you want. I use this then to mount onto this to be able to hold the camera. Along with the iPhone, I've got a battery charger just when I'm traveling, get a little extra charge on the plane or whatnot. Let's see, we have, for the computer, I don't have my Mac up here, but I'm taking my laptop, a couple 1 terabyte drive should be plenty, another USB-C cable, noise canceling headphones, power cord, passport, And then let's talk about lighting for a minute. So when I'm traveling, it's very hard to get any kind of good lighting. You can't, especially you're overseas and I'm in remote locations, and there's no opportunity to rent some grip or lighting gear. So you're kind of stuck with natural light. And I've brought these before. I've got two of these little aperture things that are quite bright and multicolor temperature. And they come with these little soft boxes. So those can be handy, but they're not super bright. But then I just got this Zhihun dude, which is awesome. So this little guy sticks on here, and you basically got, there's also a soft box I have coming, but I think I might return that because I think this is going to be good enough as it is. It's very, very bright. This is the battery for it that just connects to the side of it. Not doing a very good job of explaining this, but it's got a little fan there. It's quite quiet. You attach the battery on the side there. You attach this on the front, and it's a very, very bright light and throws a nice soft light. I'm including another USB-C cable just so I can charge multiple things at the same time. I'm not bringing the power supply for this. You can charge this, you can plug it in, but I'm just got to cut down on what I'm bringing, so I'm just going to charge this up and it should be fine. So that's the lighting situation. And then I have little energy things. I got my vitamins packed out for each day. I'm sort of trying out a vitamin regimen here. I've got this Magic Mind stuff that I really like. I've been using it for a little while. A little morning shot of this, just also with a coffee, really keeps me alert. A couple energy bars for the ride. And the trick will be, can I fit all this and my clothes? Because, by the way, I haven't even thought about clothes yet. Think about all the gear first, prioritize that, and then figure out what clothes you can put in. Luckily, it's not going to be cold. It's going to be quite warm where I'm going, so I'll figure out what clothes I can stick in here or here after I get all this other stuff in there. Just a quick update. I got it all in there. A little big, almost 40 pounds, but it'll work. All good.